This is a very special chat we have planned for you on ET Now regarding somebody who's no less than an institution, though he has built an institution in the financial services space over the last few decades, something which has made India proud. But this story about him is actually been narrated by his wife. I'm talking about Mr. Aditya Puri and Smiley Puri, who are in our studios today. Of course, this is a delightful book Smiley has written about Mr. Puri called Adityanama. It talks about a lot of facets of his personality, personal life, which you may not have ever known before. Of course, we have listened to him, we have heard him in his tenure at HDFC Bank. Entire financial services industry knows him. But what's about the man behind this personality? And Smiley is here, along with Mr. Puri, in our studios today to talk more about that. Smiley, Mr. Puri, thank you so much for dropping by.
Thank you for having us over.
Smiley, I'm intrigued. What about this cover? Why is he wearing boxing gloves? What's the story behind choosing this cover on the book, for the book?
He is, such a strong personality to take the punches and the rolls, and the next day he'd be up and about as though nothing happened the next day. Just like in the boxing ring, when they take the punches and they get up to take the next bout, he's absolutely like that. So I thought this is the right...
So it's like, so what occurred to me was that it's a warrior. His is a warrior, story of a warrior as well.
Yes.
So that's the stance. Tell me about who's the boss at home between the two. He's been the big boss of financial services industry, HDFC Bank. But when he comes back home or he spends time at home, how does he
wants to relax and chill. So I take over and I be the boss. But we both sort of share the pants. Whenever there's a very big problem and we both have to do it together, then we, share the pants.
Okay. Mr. Puri, you've had an amazing, happy, life with your family and kids and wife for 45 years?
45.
What's the secret? Because everybody watching out there, including me, I want to know, what's the secret of a happy married life?
So there are two secrets. One is, it's better to be happy than right. अगर आपकी शादी होगी तो आप भी समझ गए.
Right.
So that is one. Second is, after some time, you get the liberty as you grow older. I'll tell you this joke. So there's this elderly couple sitting and the wife tells the husband, these days you don't hear what I'm saying, love, you better get yourself tested. And the husband turns around, yes, love, a cold beer would be fine. समझ गया ना?
Right.
तो ऐसे ही चलता है.
So it's better to be happy than to be right. That was a good one. But let's talk about your story. It's a delightful book. It talks about his career. It talks about your family and your travels and kids and everything between that. Let's start with the decision of coming back. You had a comfortable life there in Kuala Lumpur. He was the big boss at Citibank there. Big house, which is a rarity in those kind of Southeast Asian countries. And this decision of coming back came. What was your reaction?
We had a very luxurious life there.
Correct.
And we lived life really king size. So it was actually a big decision for us because number one, the salary here wasn't going to be great. And even the perquisites were not going to be great. And since it was a new bank, a small bank, the finances would be less, so I wouldn't get so much help from the bank, So there it was, and then, but the last clinch of the deal that we decided to come back was his father. When he refused to come, he said, no, I want to be here in India, and I don't want to shift abroad. But he was very ill, and he said, I want to have my last few years and days in Smiley's home. So that really got me, and I told him that I think we have to go back.
Oh, how nice.
But, I also asked him that if something happens to Papa, how are you going to live the rest of your life? He said, no, I won't be able to. And he said, so, that's it. We decided to come back.
So that would have made you very happy that he started, calling your home actually Smiley's home.
Happy, yes. Very proud. Oh, mera bhi ghar hai, yeah.
Of course.
So I told him, Papa, it's your son's house as well. But no, that was an unbelievable compliment to her. And I think long back when we used to talk, I said, ek din I want to set up a world-class bank in India. This was more talk, but obviously the germ of the idea was there at the back of the head. Then Deepak came along and he says, yeah, chalo, wapas chalo, and sitting in this 2-acre house, pool this side, golf course that side. So maine kaha, what's in it for me? So when he mentioned the salary, I was going to fall into the pool. So I
It was
said,
almost nothing.
as good as nothing. And there, a few of us, including Jerry, Nanu, and all of us had been named among the top 50 with John Reed. So prospects are very good. But then he says, you come here and do something for the country and set up a world-class bank. So I was frank enough to ask him, and I said, Deepak, that's very good, but who will run the bank, because if we have two people running it, we both will be miserable. He said, I have no desire, I've got enough to do. I have no desire to run the bank. You will run the bank. If you need something because you've been out of India, talk to me. And I must say he stuck to that. So there was the opportunity, things were changing. There was a situation also that the foreign banks had the products and the customer service. The nationalized banks had the distribution, the reach, the brand. So in my mind, I thought if you could fuse the two together and have an Indian bank that had better service than even the foreign banks, created a brand as it went along based on salience and recall and customer service and integrity and all that, and also had all the distribution strength, we were on to a winner. So I was still debating when Smiley, I think, already said, when my father's position and superimposed on that. And her one question that, can you live with if anything happens to him? And that was it. And here we were in Bombay.
But Mr. Puri, I'm very curious to understand from you. You took a call on India. It was a startup bank. The startup is a very fancy term now, but you took a call to build something which did not exist. And the idea was also you saw a gap and you wanted to address it along with your team. That would have taken a lot of struggle. From a comfortable position there, along with your family, you took the plunge towards the struggle. What was the idea? As a family, as a couple, what were the discussions which were done?
You actually, Ajay, have hit a very mute point. So when you're discussing this over a drink, you create a world-class bank, you'll be free, the things that change, how exciting it will be. It was sounding very exciting. I believed in it till I came back to India. And from my office, excellent office in KL, and I came back and we had this one floor in Sandoz house where renovation was going on, and I was sitting on a chair trying to explain to people, join us if you have the passion to make the best bank. And then the enormity of the task hits you. So I don't know how she put up with me for the first 2 years, because I had to keep a very brave face, the public face, if you may, that everything is great, yes, we're proceeding on it, and we will do it, we will do it. But the time was tough, and yeah, of course, like any normal human being, I had the doubts, did I make the right decision, because that was an easy life, we were going, dollar salary, all that kind of stuff. So 2 years were tough, and then every year it improved more and more, and I have to say, I seem to get a disproportionate credit. I would think a larger portion should go to her.
Clearly, because she was the support, she was the pillar behind that decision.
Absolutely, more than a pillar. The only one that I could really come and cry.
So, Mr. Puri, when he used to come back, the first 2-3 years, typical startup founder struggles, and he was selling the idea not only here in India to a lot of quality people who he wanted to join, but also to global investors and all. Yes. But he would come and confide with you a lot of fears, a lot of doubts and all of that. Talk to us about what did you tell him back when you heard all of that? He had a brave face outside, right? One face of the outside world and one home. So if you could recollect some conversation.
Actually, because my inner, conscious was always telling me that it's going to do really well and he's really going to succeed. So I didn't want to, keep on repeating this, but I knew and I had faith. So that really helped me along to be very positive and give him positive gyan and satsang and boost.
But he would come and ask you, did we do the right thing, right? You mentioned it in the book.
Yes, yes. He always said that.
Bigger picture, you see. So my point was, I was really not wanting any professional advice.
Sure.
I was not.
Overall scheme.
But I needed to take it out and someone to listen and give me a positive push.
Sure. So, and then, since then, it has been quite a journey, I would say, right?
Yes, but I believed in him. I really had faith in him that nobody else can have, sleep banking, talk banking, drink banking,
Really?
eat banking like him.
In fact, you guys used to travel a lot, right? He's
Yes.
taken you across the world, in India, almost every state.
Yes.
Talk to us about some of your travels.
Travels, and also they were very good, finals that we would try and
Achha.
attend,
So it was-
like the Olympics,
Okay.
or the football finals. We went to the Wimbledon finals and the French Open, finals, the Australian Open finals. So we were very interested in sports as well as a lot of safaris. Nature, like Masai Mara, the migration of the wildebeest. It was a beautiful sight, and we would go along with the whole family. As I told my family that once a year, I don't care, we have to get together and go together, all together as a family. Whether it is for a week or 10 days, but somewhere we have to go together, because otherwise that bonding as a family won't come. And I think more of the travels he would definitely remember, because his memory is very sharp.
Who was the planner? Every time you come up with a proposal, this is where we need to go. Who would do the planning? And
There must be a reason for going. You must know what you're really going to enjoy, which you're all going to like. So like when we went to Tuscany, we wanted the wine. And most people don't know, if you travel inside, the Michelin star restaurants are actually cheaper than some of the Bombay restaurants. And a nice hillside, good bottle of wine, he's giving you pheasant or he's giving you wild boar. You can tell him exactly how it cooks, or you go to the lake and, boat in the lake, or you just sit around, go and listen to some music, listen to jazz, and figure out.
so he's been a demanding person at home. Also, the
Yes.
culture of the family has been a lot of emphasis on quality food, be it for yourself or entertaining guests. The focus on food has been there.
When we have breakfast, our families is eating breakfast, and we're discussing what the menu is going to be for lunch.
Wow, kya baat hai. What a focus.
Focus is
And
your
not
food.
only eat, but also to see. No?
And then at lunchtime, we're eating lunch and we're talking about tea time pe kya aap khayenge. With tea time pe, we're eating it, but we're discussing abhi dinner pe kahan jayenge, kaun sa restaurant, kya khana hai. And we don't like these very hi-fi 5-star types.
Local flavor.
It has to be very, very tasty, and we have to get the local flavor of the place.
You've also,
We'll go to the museums also. We'll go see for more. The Narmada is the only river that goes from west to south. No, everything else is from north से नीचे होके आती है. और वो जो उसके marble rocks हैं,
Yeah.
दोनों साइड में से ये नर्मदा जाती है, and the moon shines on the rocks. You can't see it as if fjord में जाते हैं.
Fjords
It's
of-
a fjord में it's completely different. और जो राजा आप अपनी कंट्री में है ना, कहीं नहीं है.
kya baat hai. You're very bullish on India. I'm going to talk to you a little more detail later. Wherever you guys have been across the world, in our country, you would come back with a piece of that place, local, be it furniture or some lamp or some lantern, something or the other.
Something or the other, because our house was called a museum. जहाँ पर भी, जिस wall पर भी देखो, they'll know, okay, so you've been to the interior part of Brazil, you've been to the, Kashmir, and you, something or the other to remind us, our memories, to remind us that, okay, this is what we did there and this is how we got this piece.
How cool is that?
There's a story behind
Story
every
behind
piece.
everything. Tell me, Smiley, now he's at home, right? Does he bugs you? What does he do? And usually, how is the time spent? Because earlier he was 10 hours, outside. He would come back at 5:30, right?
Yeah.
Always, and spend time, go for walks. But now he's bulk of the time at home.
Actually,
or how is
there's,
it?
I haven't got-
Chapter?
brought my specs, yes. It's the conclusion where I have covered this, and it'll answer your question.
You're gonna read it.
Yes.
Sure.
Though I haven't brought my specs, I think if you read it,
Oh,
it'll
you
be
want me to
better.
read?
Sure.
I haven't brought my
मैंने
specs.
cataract करा लिया ना. Aditya smoothly moved on to the next chapter of his life, and I'm so happy to see him passionately pursue his dreams of providing quality, affordable health care in line with the government's health mission. That she not said, that I've said.
Okay.
across the length and breadth of the country, providing credit to the underprivileged. If they get credit, they will become viable and it will also create a lot of demand. And democratizing the benefits of technology. Through the India stack, RuPay, transfer that is their interoperability through UPI, we are way ahead of any country in the world. He's loving the technology to reduce disparity and environment protection. Now we're working on it. Either हमको लगाने की 3 million trees Bombay में.
Oh, very
So
nice.
few of us like-minded people, Mahindra, Bombay Port Trust, ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, Tata. So हमारा project है. देखो, hopefully it will solve your thing going forward. He is loving the time he can spend with the family, and the time he now has to do everything from playing golf to traveling to listening to music.
Wow.
And then, as Omar Khayyam said, a book of verse, underneath the bow, a flask of wine, a loaf of bread, and thou beside me. Singing in the wilderness. And wilderness is paradise.
Wow, how cute is that? Very nice. But you know, I would like you to tell me, Smiley, a little more about his spending time. Coming back in the afternoon, quick lunch with you at home.
Oh,
then
this is when he
5:30
was
PM.
working.
Huh?
So this is when he was working.
When I was worker class.
Yeah. For years, he's always come back
Yes.
in time, right?
For lunch.
And then come back
Lunch-
in the evening at 5:30.
Lunch, 1 o'clock, and then after that, just to unwind from all the pressures in the bank, he would just for 10 minutes see a nice, Shami Kapoor movie to lighten up his, inner being, and then again go to the bank. And 5:30 sharp, he would be. In fact, I would know that okay, now it's 5:30 when the bell would ring.
Okay.
And when he came back, it was nice because there was so much time to be together and to, work out problems or, enjoy together with the family because, 5:30 till the night was a long time.
Wow.
So it was great, in fact. I used to miss it. And I used to tell my friends that I don't know what I would have done at 5:30 if he hadn't come home, I'd be feeling absolutely lost.
You've been an India bull for a long time, right? That's why you took this call of coming back. Of course, family compulsions were there, and your family agreed to that. You came here, built your business, and now you're sounding even more bullish on India. Where is this bullishness stemming from?
It's not that I'm
No.
sounding bullish.
The action
The
is
world is sounding bullish. You hear the World Bank? What does the World Bank say? I don't know what Prime Minister Modi did, but he's woken up an elephant. You see the procession of the foreigners coming in. You hear the IMF talk. You see the way the country is treated with respect. So that is there. But there are fundamental reasons. इस दुनिया में कोई ऐसे ही नहीं होता. It is because of the position we find ourselves in. The world is slowing down. The US will probably go from 1.8 to 1% or below. Europe will be in a recession. China went from 10 to 6, it will come down to 3. Hindustan, Jindabad, 6 to 7%. But more importantly, we are structured in such a way that this is Hindustan ka time for the next few decades.
You see?
Number one, we have a strong democracy, a democratically elected government which is stable, has clear policies across foreign affairs. I love it. Europe is telling us कि gas nahi lo apne aap, you buy more gas in one. So now it took a lot of guts to say, we know what's good for us, which never used to happen. Same goes for defense. We are at the lead in environment and inclusion. You look at digital. We have maybe the largest, could be largest or second largest, mobile phones, internet usage, our India stack, UPI, etc., which will allow democratization of technology. Also, we have people who will allow us in services which will move to data services, which is a good export. And I would recommend the government look very carefully that our storage and other data storage thing match global standards. Nahi to log nahi aayenge. So that's digital. Then you come to the demographic dividend. People say it could be a curse. No. People are qualified. They can be re-qualified. And now with the working of remote, I think that in itself, as we go forward, out of every 100, 22 people that come into the working age in the world will be from India. The demographic dividend is there. And then you look at the economy itself. So we are focusing on manufacturing, whether it's PLI, whether it is China Plus One, whether it is focusing on our strengths, whether it is MSME, whether what we want to do in semi-urban and rural India, just manufacturing. If you look at it, if we increase our manufactured exports by 0.5%, GDP goes up 4%. Right? We also have, we are not, whereas we do have high consumption, but compared to the world, very low. Whether it's cars, air conditioners, aircraft, motorcycles, all of that. So the demand is there. We followed very good policies. America, between the real rate of interest and their actual rate, is very far off. We will actually, I don't know what the RBI governor is going to do today, but we would almost move to a positive real interest rate. और जब दुनिया ने हमको बोला था फेंको पैसा नहीं फेंका, so we have a good fiscal situation. We focusing on bringing inclusion, using various techniques, whether it's Jandan, whether it's subsidy, whether it's promoting manufacture, whether it's microfinance, you name it, or whichever, the missions on health, the health mission, the education mission. I want to be involved in trying to see that everybody gets healthy and gets credit. But not as a worker class. आपके जैसे नहीं.
Sure. No, but I'm sure people are approaching you. And
no,
do you have the urge to go back?
मैं वापस. Available when able. But of course India is a great place. And we should be proud of it. We are today the 5th largest economy. We'll be the 3rd largest economy in 5 years. अरे हमको वो respect दो. ऐसे ही थोड़ा ना कि जिसके मर्जी आ जाए इंडिया पर comment कर दे.
So you saw the recent comments made internationally when of course now the banking issues are being raised there, but recently a lot of international people question the strength of our banking system.
I think that's ridiculous. पहले अपना घर तो देख लो. You examine your own strengths. The basic 101 on banking was not there. Both management and regulatory failure. I have said this for a long time. The Indian banking system has very little systemic risk. If you take what happened in the US and you take here we have got asset liability matching, we got portfolio diversification, we got how much you can put as investments, we got deposits dispersion, we got reputation management, we got technology mix, we got good capital, so the risk is not there. So every fellow who gets up, you know, when you have a glass house, be a little more careful, but we are graceful people. So people like to comment, but I would strongly urge, return our grace. We don't comment when you have shootings in your place. We don't comment when your banking system is going down the tube. Give us respect. We are, we are not pushing our bulk. 5th largest and 3rd RA. Yes, samajh jao, and we are right to demand that respect.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much
On
for
ET
having
Now
us over.